Today we're talking about dividing polynomials, but first I want to take you all the way back to elementary school when we were doing long division with numbers. Okay? With long division with numbers, if I'm taking 2,364 divided by 2, I ask myself, how many times can 2 go into 2? 2 goes into 2 one time. So then I take 1 times 2, which is 2, and I subtract that. What's 2 minus 2? 0, and then I bring down the 3. Now I do the process over again. How many times does 2 go into 3? Once. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract, what's 3 minus 2? 1. Bring down the 6. How many times does 2 go into 16? 8. 8 times 2? 16. Subtract. What happens? What's 16 minus 16? 0. Bring down the 4. How many times does 2 go into 4? 2. So my answer is 1,182. Because when I factor that out, I get 0, which we want 0.
Since there's no x's in those, can we use calculator for those or no?
You won't have problems like this. Let's do another example. If I had 1,573, I want to divide that by 2. Okay. Does 2 go into 1? No. Does 2 go into 15?
No.
How many times? 7. What's 7 times 2? 14. Subtract, what's 15 minus 14? 1. Bring down the 7. How many times does 2 go into 17? 8. 8 times 2?
8 times 2 is 16.
17 minus 16? 1. Bring down 3. How many times does 2 go into 13? 6. 6 times 2? 12. Subtract, what do I have left over? 1. What do we do with the remainder?
Make a decimal.
Remember? It could turn into a decimal, or you can put remainder 1. Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to take the remainder and we're going to put that over what we divided by. So it's the remainder over what we divided by. So our answer is 786 and 1/2. Okay. 4 here, we would take 7 times 2, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. Right now, what that's going to look like if we did this one, we're going to give you a problem. We're just going to jump right in. It would say 3x squared plus 7x plus 4 divided by x plus 2. That's what the problem would look like. Okay? How can I write this as a division problem? As in this. What would go inside the box? Yep. 3x squared plus 7x plus 4. What would go on the outside? X plus 2. Okay. Similar to what we were doing with the whole numbers, we're going to do the same thing with polynomials. It just has x's. Okay. So what I want to ask is, what do we need to turn x into 3x squared? What are we missing?
3.
We're missing a 3. And what else? We have 1x here. I have 2 there. I need 1. So I'm going to multiply by 3x. Okay. Good question.
Why do we have to have x?
The reason I put it here is because I want it to be above its like term. Okay. We need an x because we started with 1, but I need 2. So we need 1 more. Okay. Multiply. Now, what we would normally do with our 3x times x, which is 3x squared. And then we're going to take 3x times 2, which is 6x. What did we do next? Subtract. Okay, with that subtraction sign, go ahead and take it through the whole thing. What happens to those first terms? That should happen every time. You want those to cancel out. 7x minus 6x. 1x, or x. What do I do with the 4? Bring it down. So x plus 4. Now you do the same thing. Okay? How do I turn x into x? Or is it already? It's already the same, so what can I multiply by?
2.
To keep it the same. Multiply by 1. So we're going to put plus 1 up at the top. So now I do the same thing. What's 1 times x? 1x. What's 1 times 2? 2. What do I do now? Subtract. So, what happens to the x's? Cancel. 4 minus 2? 2. 2 is my remainder. Do you agree? It's what I have left over. So, my answer is 3x plus 1. How do I write the remainder? Plus 2 over x plus 2. So we take our remainder, and then we take what we divided by. So this whole thing right here is my answer. Example C on the front page of your notes. What would go on the inside? 2x squared plus 7x plus 6 divided by x plus 2. Let's walk through this again. What do I ask myself? What do I need? How can I turn x into 2x squared? I need a 2, and I need an x. Yep. Yep. What do I do with 2x now? Yep. 2x times x is 2x squared. And then, wait, we're not done multiplying yet. What do I multiply by next? 2x times 2 is 4x. Now I can subtract, take that subtraction sign into the whole thing. What happens to the 2x squared? Cancels. What's 7x minus 4x? 3x. What do I do with the 6? Bring it down. Am I done? No, do the same process over again. I want to turn x into 3x. What am I missing? A 3. So now what do I do? Multiply. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 2 is 6. What do I do next? Subtract. Take that subtraction sign through. What happens to the x's? Gone. What happens to the 6 minus 6? Gone. So what's my answer? Or sorry, what do I have left?
2x plus 3.
I have 0. So really, we want 0 to be the remainder, but is 0 my answer? No. What's my answer? 2x plus 3 is my answer. Yep. Or you could just circle it up here. Go ahead and try this problem on your own. So first step, we decided we're going to multiply by x squared. So now I take x squared times x, which is x cubed, and then I take x squared times 3, which is 3x squared.
Does the x and the square cancel for the 5 and the 3?
No. So now we subtract here. Take that sign through. What happens to the x cubed? Cancels. Now I take 5x squared minus 3x squared. 2x squared. What do I do with the 6x? Drop it down. Now do the same process. What do I need to multiply x by to get me 2x squared? What do we multiply it to get x to 2x squared? So if I'm looking at x and I want to turn that into 2x squared, what is it missing?
2.
It's missing a 2 and it's missing a x. Yep, so we're going to multiply by 2x. So take 2x squared times x is, 2x times x is 2x squared. And then 2x times 3 is 6x. What do I do from here? Subtract. Take that subtraction sign through. What happens? Both cancel out, and I drop down the 9.
You can go to 9 times.
Well, what do I do with that 9?
Oh, is that remainder?
That's my remainder. Okay? How do I write my answer then if that's my remainder?
X squared plus 2x and then 9 over x plus 3.
Yep. Make sure you have an addition sign in between those. So we have x squared plus 2x plus 9 over x plus 3.
Because I always have to bring that original thing back.
Correct. What goes on the inside?
The x to the third.
Yep.
Minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6.
Yep, and then on the outside,
Negative 4x.
careful, there's an x squared minus 4x plus 3. What do you notice about this one compared to ones that we've been doing?
There's actually 3 in the first one.
There's 3 terms on the outside. It does not matter. Okay, you're still doing the same process. Okay, go ahead and try that one. First thing we need to do is we need to see how we turn x squared into x cubed. What is it missing?
Oh, 1. X.
It's missing an x. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by x. So I take x times x squared is
X. Third.
x to the third, and then x times negative 4x.
Minus.
4x squared.
Negative 4x squared, and then x times 3,
3x.
3x. What do I do now?
Subtract.
Subtract. Go switch all of the signs in there.
Wow.
What happens to the x cubed?
It cancels out.
Cancels out. Negative 6 plus 4.
Negative 2x.
Negative 2x squared. And then 11 minus 3x.
8x.
8x.
8x. What do I do with that 6?
Drop it down.
Bring it down. Okay, now, how can I turn x squared into negative 2x squared? What is it missing? It's missing a negative 2. That's it. What do I do now?
You multiply.
Multiply. Negative 2 times x squared.
2x squared.
Negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times negative 4x.
Negative 8x.
Positive 8x. And then negative 2 times 3. Negative 6. What do I do?
X minus 2 and then remainder or something.
I need to subtract first. So switch all of these signs.
Those cancel. Those cancel.
These cancel. 8 minus 8.
Cancel.
It's negative 6 plus 6.
Cancel.
So what do I have as my remainder?
0.
0. So what is my answer?
X minus 2.
X minus 2 is your answer. Let's talk about example B on there. Okay? Don't write anything down yet. Right now it says 16x to the 4th minus 85. What do you notice? What's wrong with it?
It says 16 to the 4.
Are we missing something?
There's no regular one with an X, just X.
There's no regular x. Notice how it goes from x to the 4th straight to a constant. What do we normally have in the middle there?
Like 3 other.
Like x to the 3rd, x squared. Okay, when we're doing long division, those are very important. We have to have placeholders for them. Okay, so we're going to have a placeholder for x cubed. So I'm just going to do a plus 0x cubed. Okay, it's just a placeholder. Okay, did we have an x squared to begin with?
No.
No, so what do I put? Plus 0x squared as a placeholder. Did we have an x to begin with?
No.
No, so what do I put?
Plus x.
Plus 0x. Make sure we put zeros in there. And then what do I put after that?
85.
Minus 85. Okay, so I put placeholders in for the terms that we didn't have terms for. Divided by, what do you notice about what we're dividing by?
It's only 2.
We have 4x squared. Well, do we have an x?
No.
No, so what do I need to put? Plus 0x plus 9. So it's the same thing, but I had to put placeholders in for the places that we didn't have a number for, or a term for. Now we're going to do the same thing. How do I turn 4x squared into 16x to the fourth? What are we missing?
4x squared.
We're missing a 4x squared. So now I'm going to multiply 4x squared to all those terms. What's 4x squared times 4x squared?
4x. I mean 16x squared.
16x to the fourth. 4x squared times 0x.
0x.
It's 0x to the third.
Plus 0x squared.
Here,
Oh wait. Never mind. 9 times 4 is
what's 4x squared plus 9? Or times 9? 36x squared. There we go. What do I do now? We're going to subtract. Make sure you change all of the signs so that you know you're subtracting. Go through and change all of the signs. What happens to the 16x to the fourth? It's gone. 0 cancels. 0 minus 36.
Negative 36x squared.
Negative 36x squared.
Plus 0x.
Okay. How do I turn 4x squared into negative 36x? Times by negative 9. So I have negative 9 times 4x squared.
Negative 36x squared.
Negative 36x squared.
Cancels.
Cancels. But we got to keep multiplying, right? What's negative 9 times 0? 0. And then what's negative 9 times 9?
81.
Negative 81. What did I forget to do at the beginning?
Drop the 0x.
We got to drop that 0x down. It should be just x. There we go. Okay. What do we do from here? Subtract. What happens to the 36? Cancels. What happens to the zeros? Cancel. What am I left with? 81. Okay. Bring this down. If I have negative 85 here, what's negative 85 plus 81? Negative 4. There we go. Sorry. Yep. What do I do with that negative 4? That's the remainder. So how do I write my answer?
4x squared minus 9 minus 4 over 4x squared plus 0x plus 9.
Yep, and you can just go back to the original after that one.